Okay, so National Depression Screening Day is tomorrow, October 9th. This is a day to raise awareness about depression and encourage individuals to get screened. We have a new presenter for you today. We're so excited. Allie is new to our team, but brings a ton of behavioral health experience with her. And I'm going to let her tell you just a little bit more about herself before she begins. So today's presentation, Am I Sad or Depressed? And our presenter today is Allie McTheney. Allie, take it away.
Thank you. Well, like Tracy said, I am Allie McTheney. I am new to this team, but I am not new to Baycare. I started with Baycare back in 2017 as an intern. And when that internship ended, I was retained as a full-time employee. Since then, I've been working in outpatient, treating adults and children with mental health diagnoses. I've worked in inpatient for the crisis stabilization and treatment. I've also worked in the school setting, providing therapy to children and teachers. Now I'm here with the assistance program, and I will be working with this team, providing clinical insight and oversight to the team and helping everybody get set up with appointments and offering some counseling as well. So as Tracy said, today we're going to be talking about the differences between sadness and depression. The goal of the presentation today is for everyone to walk away with a deeper understanding of the difference between what is a normal emotion versus a clinical diagnosis. My hope is that you will be able to recognize within yourself and others some signs, symptoms, and way to offer some support moving forward. So what is sadness? Sadness is a normal, temporary emotional response to a specific trigger like loss, change, disappointment. Maybe we didn't get the promotion we wanted, or a friend says they're moving away. It's normal to feel sadness when things like this happen. It shows up in our lives. We all have to deal with it. None of us are going to be immune from feeling sadness in our life at some point. Does anybody have any other experiences or examples that they'd like to share or put in the chat of how sadness has shown up? Divorce, yep. Loss of a pet, absolutely. Both of those are difficult. I see some typing. Feeling overwhelmed for too long, yes. And that shows up like sadness and burnout even. All good examples. Oh. Sorry about that. Let me see what that last one was. Outgoing, no contact, yes. That's a difficult one as well. Okay. All good examples. Also important to note that with sadness, joy still shows up as well as other emotions, because emotions are part of our normal day. Sadness coexists with moments of joy. They allow for comfort, allowing continuation of our daily routines. This looks like being sad and disappointed that our best friend is moving, but we also feel joy that they have a new opportunity and they're going on a new adventure. This looks like being sad that our pet is no longer with us, but that they're no longer in pain. It's almost like accepting these emotions as they come. So it is important to note that they do coexist. And if you haven't seen Inside Out, I highly suggest it. It's a fantastic movie, even though it is marketed to kids. It does a fantastic job teaching emotions and kind of what's going on up here. Now that we've gone over what sadness is, let's talk about what we can do with it. When sadness does show up, we use coping skills to address and relieve those normal sad feelings. We all use coping skills, whether consciously or unconsciously. I did put some coping skills over here in the box for you to look at and see if any of them resonate with you. I did want to share that when I'm feeling sad, two of my favorite coping skills are color blocks and dancing it out. So color walks is when you go for an intentional walk by selecting a color. And when you see that color on your walk, you take a picture of it. That coping skill helps by grounding you to the present moment, but also getting the feel-good hormones, dopamine and serotonin going. Dancing it out, of course, looks like putting on your favorite jam, dancing, singing, doing whatever you need just to kind of shake that emotion out, move it through your body, and also getting dopamine and serotonin going. How about anybody in the group? Does anyone want to share some ideas on how they cope or what their favorite go-to coping skill is when they're having some downtimes? Laughter's a good one. Putting on some funny videos on YouTube or TikTok. Get into nature and unplug. Yep. Great time to use the color walks. Word puzzles. Art therapy. Yes. All good things. I love a good word puzzle. Anybody else? Well, thank you for sharing those ideas. It's always good for everybody to have a bank of coping skills to use whenever they need it. So there's no shortage of sharing what we do to cope. Let's move into the differences between what depression is and sadness. Sadness differs from depression by lacking the persistent hopelessness and interference with our daily function. So we kind of think of sadness like the Florida weather that we all live in. We live here, we know what this weather is like, just like this picture over here. Is it going to rain or be sunny today? Yes. Okay for moments of our day to be rainy and then other moments to be bright and sunshiny. Depression, on the other hand, does not change so easily. It's more persistent and it impacts your daily functioning, like work and socializing. So that shows up like, I can't go to work today because I just don't feel like I can get out of bed. Feels like I'm sleeping too much. That's what I mean by it. And it impacts your daily functioning, your occupational, your socializing. So let's dive deeper into some signs and symptoms of major depression. Major depression is a serious mood disorder that presents with persistent and intense feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and lack of interest or pleasure in most activities. And that's going to last us longer than 2 weeks. So anytime those things are showing up consistently in a 2-week period, we know we're kind of moving into the major depression stage. Major depression involves signs and symptoms like fatigue, sleep changes, concentration issues. We kind of talked about that in the last slide. That looks like oversleeping, or no matter what you do, you never feel well rested. It feels like everything is a chore. It shows up like irritability, loss of interest in activities that we once used to enjoy. Maybe you're coming home from work and you used to really enjoy seeing your family and spending time with your kids, but now it just seems like an impossible task. Maybe that looks like I don't even enjoy going to the gym or watching movies anymore because I'm not getting enjoyment out of it. It disrupts our functioning, and sometimes it does ultimately result in suicidal thoughts. Those should all be signs and trigger points for someone or yourself to say, all right, it's time for me to get some more help. Major depression does need professional treatment. It looks like talking to your primary care doctor about what you're feeling and asking for a screening. A lot of times they do a depression screening right when you get there. It might be opening up and letting them know some of the things you've been experiencing. It might be reaching out to us at EAP and setting up your counseling sessions. Therapy and psychiatry work together and they complement each other for effectiveness. They don't always need to go together. Sometimes it could be one or the other, but it is important to recognize that when we're experiencing symptoms like this, we do need to ask for help. Next, I would like to move into highlighting some key differences between depression and sadness. So like we've been talking about, we have sadness here and we have major depression. Sadness really is short-term and sporadic. It doesn't last all day or it doesn't last for more than a couple of days at a time. It kind of ebbs and flows. Whereas major depression 2 weeks or more, it's chronic, it doesn't really move, it's showing up every day. With sadness, it's usually a specific event. We listed some in the chat. We listed pet loss, friends moving. We talked about kids going no contact. Very specific events that cause sadness throughout our day. Depression sometimes just does not even have a rhyme or a reason for why it shows up. There may be no clear cause. We just know that we're not feeling like ourselves, and other people might be starting to notice as well. With sadness, our functioning occupationally, socially, it's usually intact. Maybe some down moments, but we're usually pretty quick to bounce back and return to our normal state of being. With major depression, not always the case. It's multiple days at a time where we have that impaired functioning and we just don't feel like ourselves. With sadness, it tends to be emotions only. We see the kind of ebb and flow, like we've been saying, about emotions just kind of coming and going throughout the day, that Florida weather feeling. With major depression, it's emotional, it's physical, it's cognitive. It's feeling like we can't get up, that loss of energy, that feeling like we can't focus on anything, not enjoying things that we once used to. And of course, we talked a little bit about the treatment options. With sadness, it's more like self-care, it's social support, being able to talk to somebody like a friend or family member, dancing it out. With major depression, the coping skills are important too. We always want to have those coping skills, but it is important to get that professional help. Ask to talk to a therapist, talk to your doctor, seek out medication management, reach out for help. We're here to support you as well. Does anybody have any questions about anything we've gone over so far? Any just words of insight or anything that I can offer some clarity on? Yes, there are bright moments in the sad times. What about any examples? Does anyone have an example of how maybe sometime recently there was a moment, we can call them glimmers. There was a glimmer of happiness when we were having a bad day.
I have one I can talk about.
Sure, go for it.
When my father passed away and we were at his funeral in the funeral home, you know, when they do the viewing, there was a baby there that took his first steps. And we just had like this really great warm moment during what was a really sad time.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. That's a very good example, Tracy. Thank you. I see in the chat somebody put seeing a rainbow. And yes, that is a wonderful thing. It happened to me just yesterday, driving home from work, pouring down rain for half the drive home. But then this beautiful rainbow just came out of nowhere, covered the whole sky. It was fantastic. That's the perfect example of how that Florida weather, rainy and gloomy, but then there's this bright rainbow. I like this one. Tanisha says, my daughter told me a joke and gave me a hug when I was having a bad day. It brightened my mood instantly. Yes. Sometimes those little moments from our kids just feel so good, and it reminds us of things that we do have to be grateful for. Even in the worst of times, we have things that bring light to our lives. Anybody else? Any recent examples of maybe a really bad day or maybe just a bad week, but there was a few moments of light throughout the day that you'd like to share? All right. So we've covered the differences. We went over sadness. We went over depression, some differences, ways to cope. We've talked about looking for the light on those sad days or bad days. I just wanted to make sure that everybody also is aware of the resources that are available to you. If you or someone you know is having a hard time, there is a national suicide hotline number. I know it says suicide, but that doesn't mean it's only for that. It does serve as a crisis line, and they will link you with resources and listen to whatever you're going through. I put that number up on the screen. It's star 988. It is a fantastic resource. Please use it, offer it to other people if they need it. You all know that you have us, your assistance program. We are here to help you. You can call us, you can email us. If you have questions, if you need resources, we're happy to help. We will take your call. We will respond to your emails. We're here to support you and make sure that you have what you need to be successful and get the services that you need. That also, along with local mental health resources, if you have questions, we're happy to provide them to you, let you know what's available to you. Now that you all have had a little bit of insight into the difference between sadness and depression, hopefully you can recognize it in yourself. And if you recognize it in other people, you can encourage them to seek help. Kind of normalize, hey, sometimes we all have bad days, or sometimes we all go through periods of time where we feel depressed. It might be time to talk to somebody. That helps reduce the stigma. It helps take away that these are bad things or that something is wrong with you. Nobody is immune to these feelings. Nobody is immune to getting to a space where we need extra help. So recognizing that humanity and being a source of support and understanding goes a long way. Anybody have anything that they'd like to add? Any comments? Any resources that they had that really worked for them that they'd like to share?